I have to say this about Colin, that's I used to be in a lovely workshop group with him, and he was writing short stories, and apparently he's gone back to poetry, so welcome back, Colin. Colin Moore.
Jill, yes, I have gone back, but not a lot to show for it yet. These are all old ones. Now, they say the old ones are the best, but I'm never convinced by that particular aphorism. But anyway, up to you, see for yourselves. All of them unpublished and as yet unread. So. First one is called Satellite Pictures of Our World at Night. How exciting it is to trace the patterns of our civilizations, in inverted commas, around the globe, to pick out our cities and the highways that serve them. Look, there's Beijing, there's Birmingham. That must be San Francisco, or is it LA? But what we really want is to shout, zoom in, that's our street. There's Mrs. Watkins' flat. She's left her bathroom light on again. And look, there's me, sitting in front of the telly, watching satellite pictures of our world at night. Down to earth now, and back a long time, even for me. You have to imagine when I was 3 or 4 years old. And it's called Solar System. Early on winter Sunday mornings, around 1946 or so, I would scuttle into Mum and Dad's bedroom, switch on the light, clamber onto the big bed, and squeeze between them under the green eiderdown. Dad in navy blue pyjamas, Mum in a nightdress that smelled of lux. The curtains would still be drawn. Lying back, I could see the lighted bulb and the slightly swinging lampshade. It was the sun, and if I shut my eyes, I saw the moon, and when I blocked them with my knuckles, there were the stars. Something completely different, still about stars, with a different interpretation of the word. It's called constellation. A large group basks around the sun, forgiving him his hollow soul with a flash of his charm and wit. A smaller group hovers round the moon, dreaming their way into her deep, slow burn, drinking of her wisdom, reveling in her mystery. A group of overweight planets with heads as thick as their necks chatter their nothings to the big red planet with the rings and the large breasts, leaving the asteroid standing alone in the corner, nursing his whiskey and dreaming of his PhD. But the biggest group surrounds the shooting star, flashing its tin pot 15 minutes of celebrity, leaving early with underage girls drunk on alcohol pots and the promise of fame, leaving the rest of us only ash and the taste of burnt-out candles. Right, I thought I'd come really down to earth and down to local now. This is not strictly about stars, but it is about the wind, and it's called The Winds of Wallasey. On this bleak January afternoon, a low, slung sun fires up steel and glass buildings in the city centre, 2 miles away across the Mersey's tide-driven mouth. To call it an estuary on this side of the river seems somehow inappropriate. It is just a sheet of rough water slanting away to the rotting docks on the Liverpool side. Over there, mountains of scrap metal and Sunday markets rub shoulders with the ghosts of tobacco and molasses, rum and cotton, coffee and rice, masking the stench of slavery that still hangs over the city, blown in on the trade winds from the other sides of the triangle. Over here, domestic clay turns its back on the river. Along these sloping streets, reminiscent of San Francisco without streetcars or trolleys, red brick terraced houses proffer small delusions of grandeur, stained glass porches and sitting stucco lions. Front gardens bloom with pampas grass and motorbikes. A spinning weather vane reminds us that we're part of a slim peninsula, And it was the four winds that started the whole thing off. No wind, no waves, no waves, no ships, no ships, no trade, no trade, no work, no work, no wealth, no wealth, no city, no city, no policy. Like it or not, we're all in this together.
Thank you very much, Colin. I think they'll do.
Oh, thank you.
Great stuff. Right, I would now like to welcome Eleanor Rees to the stage, please, to read for us. Please welcome her.
Hello. Okay, so I'm going to be reading from across my 4 books. So I'm going to be reading some poems that I've not read for a while, and they're which is nice. This is connects with Colin's poem actually, because this poem is set on the river at night, and it's called Night River. East to west, west to east, wetness crawls from the promenade wall. Oil and chemical, salt and tar, the night is in my throat. I consume distances at the edge of the river, 3 a.m, solitary, held only by the rain and the sky. The wind's touch is courageous. The stars are stags, antlers pointed at each new shore sailors discover far from here in some sunny waters. I open to it like a mouth and sense her shining full height on the horizon, as if the horizon is a ledge she balances upon. And hovering, I rush to her, her starriness, her electric pulses that beckon, she widens. I immerse myself in her thighs, her whiteness, her size. I am her. The sea is a boat. We ride until the dawn. So these poems were mostly written back in about 2006-07. This is another poem set in Liverpool, in Sefton Park. It's called Parkland. Skating through trees, you could break your neck on the moon. Like a paper doll, you expand your body on the breeze, shadow after shadow. These versions of you hesitate, sit down, climb trees, play frisbee, give birth. There is nobody else in the park but you, reclining on benches, naked, smiling, running between branches, distances, mending ship sails on the dilapidated bandstands. You make rope in the avenues between cherry trees, weave it round the pedestals of statues. You wear a crinoline and row armoured carriers across the lake, swans at your ankles like terriers. You break your neck on the moon. Exercise horses on the sandy track looped around the edge of the park. Deliver laundry to old women in houses with broken windows. You lie in the grasses in the small hills beside the streams and touch yourself whilst looking at the sky. You run naked in darkness across the open parkland, starlight still wet on your back. So I have quite a lot of poems set at night, quite a lot of poems about the moon, less about the stars. But this is a poem from Eliza and the Bear, which was my second collection. It's in 3 parts, and it's called On an August Midnight. 1. And there, floating in the river of my window, are faces looking back at me. In the midnight hot summer dark, watching, waiting, whole. They smile and preen and enjoy their eyes, which glow 2 stories up in on me, here, alone, searching for names in the glass. Air is stiff and creaking, weighed down by the excess of heat and drought. Rain is days away. Outside is a jewel. Dark woods over the horizon bellow, join us, and the hollow by the canal is just as cacophonous. The city needs this look, this hot attention. It is the house that breathes for me. I am the outside looking in. The house takes a deep breath. Its lungs are corridors. I lean backwards in the storm wind as the river far hums me a line from a song he half remembers, and the high-rise by the park bends over to the left, opening up to the stars, and the garden of the churchyard mumbles in its gravelly sleep, turns over in a blink, roots freewheeling into the night sky, then back to earth, unseen, unheard. And when the door opens, downstairs in the gale, at the entrance is a small child with an outstretched hand. He will not cross the threshold. He is from the outside and made of rain. 2. And still this territory remains imbibed in sediment that is bone and leg to sinew, to the lips I use to touch your lips. And sinking deeper into years, with a house upon my beating chest, the outside has moved within. I have a day on my tongue and a night in my toes. How this city grows hot upon my surfaces. I fly in sleep, spiraling above the outskirts. In a morning walk, make my own earthworks out of footsteps, my own edges out of the night, ritual acts to border the dawn. In awe, I place brick on brick, move my body before the sun, to know the rhythm of the wilderness and make it my own. That was a poem in 2 parts. Okay, and finally, this is from Bloodchild, which is my most recent collection. I have another collection coming out in June called The Well at Winter Solstice, and I'm going to read from that a little bit later. So this poem is called Full. Moon-raked, unable to sleep, I wake landlocked and unwilling to shift beyond my own horizon into a fall of snow or a tired embrace, or a landscape of ships and sails, old relics on the shore, on your hand again, or the draw and wreck of the sea on coastal plains that is lapping even now. 2:35 a.m, late, unearthed and deep in a city's sleepy silence that's remarkable and unsung. No trains, no rush of cars, just this flat moment, heavy in the black, cloudless sky. The church on the hill squats in a square of shadow, under the moon-ridden moments of shifting light. And somewhere inside, perhaps near the altar or in the pews, she is sitting, alert to our dreams, hat on for Sunday, hunched forward in prayer. The door creaks as I enter, sleep frenzied and aware of the turn of her neck. Her startled eyes in the shadows witness my nighttime intrusion into the life of the dark.
Beautiful poems. A little postscript to Eleanor's reading. Years ago, I used to belong to a poetry reading group in the Central Library in Liverpool. And one of the poems we studied was Astarte's Hair. Very beautiful. Anyway, and also in all my time as compere of anything, It's very rare you get a poem in 2 parts, so thank you for that. Right, I'd like to invite Paul, is it Harris or Waring? It's Paul Waring, sorry. I always get you two Pauls muddled. Paul Waring to read 2 poems, please.
Thank you. My 2 poems today feature women in starring roles. The first one is called Fishing for Stars. She appears at water's edge as ink of night blacks out sea of sky, drawn back to steer into distant body of space that breathes in rhythm with tides, takes her cue from stare of moon, casts line of lens as bait to catch light, and fishes for stars with the hook of her eye. And this is the girl who knew the moon. She felt the pull of full moons on distant cliff tops, drowned in marbled light. Telescopic eyes waiting to know, and bore deeper each time. Her cocked ear heard magnets align currents like stars beneath a paned black sea. I think she knew. In a dream, I saw Venus at solstice, nursing spoonfuls of strawberry moon. I thought it was her, that this time she had wandered too close, but in midnight mist, I couldn't be sure.
Thank you very much, Paul. Now I'd like to call someone who has the most delightful name for a poet, Celia Gentles, up to the microphone, please. Will you please welcome Celia?
Hello, I'm just going to read one poem, and it's called Reaching. Is that better? Reaching. In dreams, I live at the top of a tall turret. I'm free to let my hair down each night. There, I feel closer to the stars. Reaching out one evening, I managed to stroke a silvery facet, prick my finger on a distant point of light. Lowering my weighty plait through the casement, I watch my lover try to climb its golden rope, snagging his boots on blood-red ribbon. As he struggles with slippery soles and no footholds, I gaze upwards at the night sky. In dreams, my lover never quite reaches the window, and I always wake before the star falls into my arms.
Thank you, Celia. Lovely poem. Right. I ask you to come back up because we're doing Laika. Yes. Do you all remember Sputnik 2? Yes. I can't remember what year it was. I think it was 1957. And that Russian dog was sent up into the heavens. And apparently Moscow and St. Petersburg had loads of stray dogs running around. So I suppose for the Russians, it's just a casual thing to send the poor creature up. But anyway, I'm going to ask Colin to read his poem about Laika.
Okay, this is called, it's actually called Listening to the Stars. You hear me all right at the back? Yeah, good. I sat in a field, listening to the stars. This was my place. The only place I knew that was so free of noise pollution that I could hear the Big Bang and all the little bangs echoing down 15 billion years or so. A young girl, wearing a party hat, pink shoes and a long red dress, bounced into my field. I put a finger to my lips. She stopped, then crept up and sat beside me. I touched my ear, and she touched hers. We sat in silence for a light year or two, listening to the stars. Then she told me she'd heard the dog in the Russian spaceship barking at the man in the moon. I told her that Laika meant Barker, that she was nicknamed Putnik, and that she'd been chosen because she could whee sitting down. I didn't tell her that dogs were chosen because they trusted their masters, but there had been no plans to bring them back, if she'd died of overeating a week into the flight, and that Sputnik 2 had burnt out on re-entry nearly 5 months later. We sat for another light year or so, still listening. Then we saw a shooting star trailing fire across the night. Why didn't they send 2 dogs, she said, so they wouldn't be lonely?
It must have been a terrifying experience. The poor creature. I'm going to read a poem called Rocket Dog. It's not mine. It's by a person called Claire Bevan, and I came across this poem in a recent copy of Orbis magazine. Rocket Dog. Poor Laika, I often think of you, sniffing excitement on the wind and trotting off to your great adventure, like any lolloping street dog after a sky-high stick. When they strapped you into the cosmonaut's chair, did you dream of cloudy trees as straight as rockets on paradise roads? Or sunset parks, bright with starflowers, and ponds as cool as summer moonlight? And were you sad when your lonely journey led you along the endless spirals of space, while the faraway ball of the earth bounced always a little beyond your plaintive paws? And that's Claire Bevan, and whoever she is, thank her very much. It was very good.